Hello, my loves. It's Jeannie Street, and welcome to another episode of Angels Don't Lie. I'm so happy you're here. So look, my Empath and Sensitive Soul Masterclass is right around the corner, guys. If you haven't registered yet, you can do so at jeanniestreet.com/events. I want to see you there. So now on to the episode, which I am so excited to share with you. So I have some yumminess from my latest book, Believe, Angels Don't Lie, A Heavenly View of God's Plan for Your Well-Being, which is available on all major book retailers, such as Amazon and on Audible. So my intention for the next few weeks is to showcase to you how you are a magical soul capable of healing your greatest sources of pain with angelic guidance. With my gift today of the forward and introduction, you're going to get started to tap into all of that yumminess. To get the entire book or to get access to the Angel Guidance Workshop for free, just go to jeanniestreet.com/believe, and you can purchase again wherever your favorite retailer is. So now enjoy the introduction and the forward of Believe, Angels Don't Lie.
When she smiles at you, she'll say, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, no, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, 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 no.
Forward. I first met Jeannie in 1985. We were both young, married, and pregnant. She with her first child, and I with my second. We have been close friends since that very first encounter and have spent many years raising our children and navigating the details of life together. She has been a constant source of love, support, and companionship for me, and I am so grateful for her friendship. Throughout the years, I have been fortunate to witness Jeannie grow and evolve into the incredible woman she is today. I have always loved her and enjoyed her company, but as she's opened to her spiritual truth, I have come to truly admire who she is, what she does, and her commitment to bringing her best to every interaction she has. For it is evident she believes that each encounter is divine and each moment is precious. It has been an honor and a privilege to bear witness to her evolving gifts as a medium and spiritual healer. Through her process of coming out and publicly accepting her gifts, I've seen the challenges she faces. The world at large isn't always the most open to or supportive of the spiritual arena. When she began to listen to her calling and speak truth out loud, she was often met with resistance, doubt, and naysayers who would cause her to question if the messages she was receiving and the gift she had been given were legitimate. After all, she wasn't suddenly saying, "Oh, by the way, I discovered I'm incredibly gifted at sewing and thought you should know," but rather, "I'm receiving these messages from the divine, and I feel like you would benefit from hearing them." That news is a little harder for most people to accept, but message by message, as she began to trust and share, she continued to receive confirmation that her gift was indeed real. She shared messages that there was no way for her to have known. The only explanation was that they were not from her, but given through her directly from divine source. The more she trusted, the more frequently and clearly the messages came. I watched as the divine began to ask more and more of her. Write a book about the principles we have shown you and that you have used to heal your own life. Open a healing studio so other healers can collaborate and experience practicing healing work together. Start a radio show so that you can bring these divine healing messages beyond your immediate community. Start an online learning forum so your people who are grieving and searching for healing, learning, and growing can participate from the comforts of their own home. Write a second book. The requests from the divine continue, and somehow Jeannie keeps listening to that small, persistent voice. Despite her fears, she does what is asked of her anyway. I now have the privilege of supporting Jeannie as a scribe in group readings. Oftentimes, attendees are so engrossed in the moment while hearing Jeannie's messages that they have a hard time remembering the details later. This is where my notes provide value. In performing this role, I have witnessed many miracles. I have also been able to collect stories from clients who were so touched that they wanted to share their experiences with Jeannie's readers. I'll share 3 of them here, starting with Joanne's. I came to see Jeannie Street for the first time shortly after the tragic and sudden loss of my husband of 37 years. Our 2 daughters and I were devastated. His passing sent me reeling. The sadness was crippling. I couldn't imagine my life without him. I knew from my very first meeting with Jeannie that with her help, my broken heart could be mended. The spiritual guidance, support, and loving messages that Jeannie conveyed to me began to ease my pain and set me on a path to healing. I soon realized I had to rid my mind of the ever-present fear-based thoughts. I needed to reconnect with God and let love in. Jeannie's first book, The Goddess You, became my guide. The principles and action steps focused and empowered me. I began to rediscover my relationship with God. I learned to quiet my mind and listen. Prayer, meditation, Reiki, yoga, journaling, healing sessions, and readings with Jeannie opened my heart and my eyes to the power of the divine. Although Tom was no longer by my side in the physical world, he was still very much with me. Through his messages, I found relief. I was not alone, not broken. I had nothing to fear. I needed to be still, forgive, and call on the divine for help I needed. Everything was going to be all right. I began receiving signs that were miraculous and comforting. It became clear that the bond Tom and I shared in life did not end with his death. One day, the covered dish in which I had often left Tom's dinner shattered in a closed cabinet with no apparent cause. For several weeks, a brilliant scarlet cardinal greeted me with a song each morning when I walked my dogs. Most incredible of all was when I considered the removal of about 20 gangly perennials that were blocking the growth of a small lilac bush in my yard. They were well established, so removing them would be a great deal of work. I reluctantly decided I'd have to live with them. The morning after making that decision, they were gone. I could find no trace of them. My helpful husband was listening. These signs were reflective of Tom in my life. With Jeannie's spiritual guidance, I opened my heart to these miracle moments and found both peace and joy in knowing he was still with me. The insight Jeannie has gained through her own journey, coupled with her gifts of mediumship and healing, are blessings that she so lovingly, graciously shares with others. This book, Believe Angels Don't Lie, will be a further testament to the power of both God and the angels who are always there to help and protect us. Jeannie's words will attest to the transformations that the people she has worked with have undergone. I believe hearing these stories of miraculous healing and hope will inspire others to shed fear, release grief, and take charge in living the amazing life that God offers. I am a very different person than I was when I met with Jeannie for the first time. While I am still healing from the trauma of losing Tom, I no longer see myself as a victim. I am a survivor. People deal with grief in many ways, some of which are solitary and self-destructive. I was determined not to take that route. While I will always miss Tom, I am working towards living the life he'd want for me and the life which God intended for all of us. When we face adversity in our lives, we also learn valuable lessons. I will be forever grateful to Jeannie Street. I know that Believe Angels Don't Lie will provide inspirational stories of faith, healing, and love on every page. If you open your heart to receive, I know that it will change your life. Joanne Reynolds. Joanne's letter is a beautiful testament to the fact we never lose our connection with our loved ones who pass. They have merely transformed from a spiritual body contained in a physical body to a spiritual-only body, no longer contained at all. Joanne also shows us how quickly we can change when we begin to address the fear that governs our thoughts and shift toward love. Grief is phenomenally powerful. Many of us find that we can be even closer to our loved ones after they pass. Indeed, a good deal of healing can take place long after a soul leaves its body. Caitlin, another of Jeannie's clients, shares her healing story. I am a wife, sister, daughter, and mother of 2 young children. I have experienced grief in my life, but never to the extent I felt in September of 2017. A week after his 71st birthday, my dad passed away. I've always believed in God, heaven, and angels. I asked my dad in his final days if he was going to become an angel. With labored breath, he said, "I don't want to talk about that." Then I asked if he wanted me to pray with him. He nodded. So we held hands and prayed together. I requested that God let him know how much he was loved, take his pain away, let him know we would all be okay if he had to leave us, and to show him beautiful healing light. That night, I left my dad's bedside and glanced back for one more goodbye as he blew me a kiss. This was the last time I saw my father alive. The lyrics of a song I listened to after his passing about wanting to make a father proud touched me deeply. When he was alive, he told me he was proud of me. He told me I was beautiful. He told me I was talented. I never listened. I brushed off his compliments, thinking he just said it because that's what dads are supposed to say. I wish it hadn't taken his death for me to believe in him. But in the same breath, I am thankful to have received the divine message of his pride in me. And that wouldn't have been possible without Jeanne. I have always been intrigued by spiritual mediums, and when I saw a local coffee shop was hosting a group reading, I read about Jeanne and immediately purchased my ticket. I was afraid to admit how desperately I wanted to hear from my dad. I told myself it would be neat to hear others connect with their loved ones, and I believed that if no one came through for me, that would be okay. When I arrived that night, I could feel something special in the air. Jeanne came to me and said there was a man there who wanted to talk to me and was telling me not to leave. I knew it was my dad right away. It shocked me that he was telling her not to let me leave because I had been considering it. I had left my baby, whom I always put to sleep at home for bedtime. When I had sat down, I thought to myself, if this is going to be too long and she passes by me without any angel messages, I might have to sneak out to get home to the baby. While I wasn't looking for proof, Jeanne had it, and many more points that confirmed to me my dad was there talking to her, like how he was standing up and pointing to his legs saying how great he felt. He had been in pain, unable to walk for a few years before he passed. But Jeanne had no way of knowing that. The biggest message was when she told me he was beaming with pride for me. Hearing this reminded me of all the things he had said when he was alive that I didn't take time to listen to. Hearing through Jeanne that he's proud of me opened my heart in a way I didn't know could be opened. The lesson I learned and continue to learn from Jeanne through her presence and her writing is that even though I didn't appreciate my father's words while he was here, I can find a new appreciation through her divine messages from him. When my dad passed away, my grief felt like cement poured into my chest. It would hit me hard at random times and knock the wind out of me. But there is a reason that cliches like, it feels like a weight has been lifted, exist. I know this to be true because that's the feeling I experienced after hearing from my father through Jeanne. My life shifted and my grief decreased because I became open to messages from heaven. That night changed my life, and I hope that by reading my story and the other messages in this book, others can find comfort in truly believing that our loved ones are never far from us. God placed people like Jeanne on earth to show us the truth in this. Caitlin Dunges. The grief we experience from the loss of a loved one can sometimes feel like we are underwater with a rock on top of us, making it so hard to go on with our own lives. Caitlin's story is an example of how hearing a message from our loved one after they pass can lift that weight. We discover that we have not ended our relationships with the death of our loved ones' bodies. To the contrary, our departed loved ones are happy and free, and they want us to continue living the life we are meant to live. Mediums don't only work with death, they also work with healing. In the following, Kathy tells her story of confusion and fear surrounding her daughter's health, which transforms to one of clarity and hope after Jeanne helped her connect to her loved ones on the other side, who were able to offer her messages of love and reassurance. In Kathy's words, I first met Jeanne at Sassy Shoe, a neighborhood shop that she owned and operated in town. At the time, I was working at a local nonprofit, organizing community impact programs and principally coordinating the collection and distribution of clothing and school supplies to local children in need. Jeanne kindly hosted a fundraiser at her shoe store to promote awareness and financial services for our program, and later donated dozens of children's shoes to the charity after the store's closing. Several years passed, and I unexpectedly ran into Jeanne in town. She immediately sensed that I was struggling. My daughter had fallen ill and was silently suffering from a chronic, undiagnosed illness. I had left my work at the nonprofit to care for her, and she and I were both seeking answers and peace that medical doctors were unable to provide us. Jeanne immediately insisted that we visit her home the following day so that she could perform her healing techniques on my daughter. Our visit was overwhelmingly emotional, but through it all, Jeanne was gentle, loving, patient, and knowledgeable. We left with a profound sense of peace and hope for a future diagnosis, which we ultimately received from the doctors less than a month after visiting with her. When Jeanne opened her studio, I immediately began to follow her journey on social media, intrigued and fascinated by her incredible love and wisdom of angels and God. I was raised in a Catholic home, inherited a strong appreciation for angels from my late mother, felt an incredible connection to God through prayer, and was always looking for signs from loved ones who had passed. My girlfriend and I attended a private reading at Jeanne's lovely, tranquil studio, and 3 of my dear loved ones came through with beautiful messages of hope and faith. My nephew passed away as a young adult after a debilitating ailment slowly deteriorated his physical and mental health. When he, my mother, and grandmother came through in the reading, I expressed concern about whether the cause of his death could have been hereditary, thinking of the possible connection to my daughter. He assured me that his illness had actually been a viral infection. My mother and grandmother reassured me about my other concerns and grievances. Since having such a powerful and positive experience with Jeanne, I faithfully tuned into her Facebook Live angel card readings, as well as her Angels Don't Lie radio show, transitioned into a podcast, which she hosts weekly. I truly look forward to these sessions and thoroughly enjoy her inspirational messages and wellness insights. Jeanne has sincerely enriched my life, and I am forever grateful for her knowledge, philosophy, energy, and goodness. Kathy Thomas. Despite this praise, Jeanne remains humble. She seems to be in utter awe and honor of the messages that the divine conveys through her to loved ones in need. She continues to listen and follow the guidance she is given from the divine, and willingly shares the loving, healing, and uplifting messages that she receives. She is keenly aware that the messages are divine truth and that she is the vessel. Over the past 3 decades, witnessing Jeanne's personal transformation take place has brought so much joy to my life, and I am pleased to continue watching her inspire others shift their life path in profound ways. Again and again, Jeanne shows up to perform the tasks the divine asks of her. She plainly states when Spirit speaks, she is listening, and that angels don't lie. Colleen Fairchild.
Angels don't lie. No, no.
Introduction. I have always been an energetically sensitive gal, a divine truth seeker who is deeply inquisitive about issues of mystical wisdom. I've had the knowing, the undeniable truth and wisdom that flow from the divine and through my being for as long as I can remember. And like so many of us, I denied my personal truth out of fear. Believe you are love. All of us originated from the source, which is divine love. Our need to connect and fill ourselves with love is the reason we find ourselves drawn to books such as the one you are holding in your hands. This need to connect is what pulls us toward the people, places, and things that return our investment of time and energy by feeding our beautiful souls with love and brightening the light within us. Energy exchange. We are energy, we give energy, and we receive energy. We search for guidance and help that will support, guide, and comfort us as we come to a deeper understanding of our experiences. Life is uniquely challenging for each of us. We are wounded, we suffer, we carry pain within our being that comes in peaks and valleys. Our mind chatters away from thought to thought to avoid this. Then a combination of fear and ego that I call Schmigo shows up to challenge or take away our happiness. Our Schmigo guy tests our joy, and if we do not pass this test, leaves us feeling isolated and alone. Yet at other times, we are able to celebrate our joys and successes. We are able to live in the moment. We can look at diversity head on with love, strength, and compassion and shine confidently as the unique beings that we are. We all have versions of these highs and lows. We also commonly have feelings arise such as anxiety, depression, shame, and fear of being judged. At times, we give these energies out to others, sometimes without realizing we are doing so. About this book. We are magical souls, capable of healing our greatest source of pain with angelic guidance. I have learned something on this spiritual journey of mine, something that has saved me from the inner turmoil and denying who I am, the art of maintaining a spiritual connection with divine love and higher power, God. Now relax and breathe. This is not about religion. I call my higher power God. Sometimes I even replace it with divine source or spirit. You are free to call your higher power whatever feels right to you. In this book, I share insightful, intimate details from some of my client readings, healing sessions, miraculous healings, and heavenly messages. These are intended to assist you in freeing yourself from energy that no longer serves you while healing your pain and suffering. You too can connect to the divine realm, along with angels and celestial beings within it, to live your purpose-filled and meaningful life. Come along with me on this heavenly, insightful journey. I will showcase what it's like to live a life spiritually and soulfully connected. I will also illuminate how to discover your God-given gifts within. This will allow you to invite divine love in and dramatically shift your life. Throughout this book, I offer you a chance to delve deeper into learning, healing, and growing with the help of exercises, included guided meditations, general journal suggestions, and specific journal prompts. I share insights from client readings and examples from my own life that show how divine messages can both guide and heal fear, grief, trauma, and painful life circumstances. You will witness miracles within these experiences. Please note that clients' names have been changed to honor and protect their privacy. This book gives a celestial view of how God's heavenly angels want to be your guide in healing. They want to raise consciousness, both your individual consciousness and that of the collective. Your personal life will shift as you become more open to receive and as you choose to accept divine love. You will find that believing in and connecting to your angels increases your energy. Your thoughts will rise from a lower fear-based vibration to a higher love-based vibration. What once seemed impossible will feel full of ease. Following, I have included a glossary of words and definitions that I will be using in this book. Believe, Angels Don't Lie, Glossary. The 12 Goddess Principles. The 12 Goddess Principles are meant as tools to achieve connection to our highest selves. I explain them in much greater detail in my first book, The Goddess You. 1. Quieting the mind. We calm our brain chatter by learning how to shift our fear-based thoughts over to love-based thoughts. 2. Self-love. We mirror to the world what we think and feel about ourselves, and we receive that same energy back into our lives. If we want more love to come in, we must learn to love ourselves. 3. Changing your reactions. Silence is golden. We can learn a lot about ourselves when we quiet our inner and outer chatter. The real power we have comes from practicing compassion. 4. Energy basics. Energy can get stuck and built up, causing blocks within our life. This can make day-to-day life a challenge. Cleaning your energy up is how you discern the difference between your energy and someone else's. 5. Healing the block. Our intent to heal and release our pain requires the actions of practicing faith, forgiveness, and surrender. 6. Let it go. Sharing our stories and replaying past memories over and over causes them to build walls within our being, blocking love from filling us. Removing our story brick by brick is how we can align with our soul self. 7. Chakra basics. Each chakra point in our body is a pathway for energy to enter. They bring us into closer connection with God and allow us to receive and emit love. Clearing these points with meditation and energy work brings forth another level of healing. 8. Healthy, wealthy, and wise. Knowing our body's energy and vibrational rate helps us to know what our body, mind, and soul need to maintain our highest, healthiest energy level. 9. Keep calm. Entering our crazy stress state is never a good feeling. Finding our calm in the challenging time is important for the well-being of our mind, body, and soul. 10. Help, I've lost my balance. Our balance comes from layering the 12 principles together. Knowing how to get our energy back in alignment is our newfound survival tool. 11. Mind, body, and spirit. Living in alignment with our soul self will shift our energy, raise our vibration, and open the channels to receive Spirit's guidance through our intuition. 12. Intuitive, gifted you. Faith in God, in ourselves, is a proven tool to achieve our personal enlightened state of living. Soul alignment is the new sexy. Cycle breathing. This is a type of breath that requires you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Follow your breath on the inhalation, holding it within your belly before slowly exhaling it out of your mouth. You will need to do this in several exercises throughout the book. Try it now and see how it goes. Divine masculine. Our connection to healthy, non-fear-based ego and earth-based logic. Every soul has a divine masculine side, regardless of gender. Divine feminine. The flow of spirituality and love, which are connection to God. Every soul has a divine feminine side, regardless of gender. God, also called Source, Spirit, or the Divine. In this book, the word God refers to the higher power or the energy that we tap into, which is beyond us and that represents where we originate. Though I reference Christianity and Christian concepts frequently in this book, the God I am writing about is not specifically Christian. Rather, Christianity just provides a framework to use when we describe him. In fact, one great synonym for God is love. Soul self, also known as enlightenment, the authentic self, and or the goddess self. The soul self is the highest version of you. This represents the balance of divine feminine and divine masculine. It is what illuminates our path, the truth of who we are, and what we have come here to accomplish. Goddess truths. Your goddess truths are unique, divine truths of who you are and why you are here. Shmigo. As noted earlier, Shmigo is the name I have given ego when it has been taken over by fear. This energy is very dangerous and can hijack your life. Fear addiction. To have a fear addiction is to be dependent on thoughts that are fear-based rather than love-based. You work. When I refer to the you work, I refer to the time you spend on your well-being, learning, healing, growing, and evolving. Sacred space. This is a physical and energetic space in which you do your you work to heal, learn, and grow. Sacred space can be manifested outwardly as a room or temple, or inwardly as a space within your being in which you hold prayers for others, offer forgiveness, or let go of past pains. Altar. An altar is a space where you place religious or other significant items that are dedicated to your spiritual growth. Sensitive soul. A sensitive soul is blessed with the gift of compassion and is commonly called a highly sensitive person, HSP. Their senses of feelings and emotions are heightened, meaning they receive energy through one or more of the senses when triggered by people or animals around them. Unlike an empath, a sensitive soul experiences these interactions purely on the outside of their body. Empath. An empath is a person who can physically tune into the emotional energy of a person or animal. Their intuition, emotions, and feelings are heightened. This gift also comes with one or more heightened senses that, unlike the sensitive soul, are felt not only externally, but also internally. The energy flows inside the body, and they physically experience the feelings of another. Nancy Druitt. To Nancy Druitt means to become a detective of how, what, and why our senses are being activated. In turn, this helps us distinguish how spirit is guiding us. Chakras. The chakras are energy centers located in and around the physical body. They are points of connection for divine love to flow. Christ points. The Christ points are divine energy centers located in the soles of your feet and palms of your hands. Karma. Borrowing from Eastern philosophy, karma is the result of misdeeds. It is the energy that all souls carry with them until the wrong deed is healed and transformed into love. On journaling. To achieve the intent of this book, you'll have to do the you work by journaling, which will help you organize your thoughts. You will find that there is truth in the words you write. There are answers to the questions you are pondering. Taking these actions will serve your soul. This is proven. Science has shown that when we write in a journal, our minds enter a meditative state, which I agree creates an open space for personal discovery. Keep your journal near you while you read, as well as a dedicated pen or pencil, so you are ready to go whenever you need to start writing. This is your tool for conversing with your soul self and the divine realm. If you want to go even deeper, I created an additional resource that will continue to support you on your journey of healing and working with the angels. You can find these at believeangels.com. There are 2 universal truths that the angels shared with me, which are worth mentioning now. The first truth is that our souls are infinite, meaning we are here on this earthly plane and we are with God. We are expansive beings. If we so choose, we can connect to our soul self and live a joyful life. Since we are all infinite, our departed loved ones are therefore always with us, just without physical form. The second truth is that we all want to be loved and validated. Through my experiences channeling reading for clients, I have been shown that their departed loved ones and their team of angels are in agreement that we are all in need of a love intervention. My own fear addiction. In my 20s and 30s, I actually thought that the people who talked about angels were a little freaky. It's true, really. Even though I had departed souls visiting me in my room when I was a child, I never fully understood that seeing those souls was a gift. I thought everyone experienced energy the same way I did. It took some doing, but the angels finally got my attention, and I learned how to honor and work with this special gift. If you want to know more about my journey and how you can better know your own gifts, you can read more about them in my book, The Goddess You. The angels told me that my aversion toward angel communicators was born out of my fear addiction. Essentially, I was living in denial. Denial not only of admitting and sharing my gift, but also denial of God. I never fully grasped that by denying the existence of my gift and his angels, I was in turn denying God. They revealed that God is all of heaven and earth, and the angels are his divine beings. In believing any soul is separate from God, we deny him. If you had told me back then, I would never have believed that I, a shy Catholic girl who denied the existence of angels, would someday be conversing with these celestial beings on matters of great importance for both myself and others. As the saying goes, you live and you learn. Now, years later, I am conversing with the angels as I write this book entitled, Believe Angels Don't Lie. I mean, seriously. Why journey through pain? I assure you that the journey to heal your pain and open your communication to the angels is well worth your time and effort. Now that I am on the other side of my fear addiction, I am able to fully embrace the woo-woo, crunchy, yoga enthusiast, new agey, God-loving side of myself. And I can honestly state it was the best decision I ever made. My friend, it is my sincere hope that connecting to the angels and embracing your truths, even those freaky things about yourself, will lead you to living your best life in union with your soul self. Since braving the shadows of fear and the illusion that I was not enough, I've experienced moments that have humbled me and blessed my life. In readings and healing sessions, I've channeled Jesus, Holy Mother Mary, and the Holy Spirit. I have connected clients to their departed loved ones and helped them to release and heal grief that had morphed into physical illness. I have also had the privilege of sharing divine messages and guidance on my weekly podcast and Facebook Live show called Angels Don't Lie. We are here on this earth for a short time, and no matter how much you may deny it, run, or hide, there you are. It's scary, A little funny and yet so true. The angels say that life is a beautiful privilege meant to be cherished and lived well, even with the bumps and turns in the road. My dear friend, now is the time for you to start loving yourself and living your best life by going through the steps that I've mapped out for you in this book. Meet me on the next page and I'll introduce you to the angels. Blessings. XX Jeanne.
Angels don't lie. No, no, no.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that listen, and thank you again for tuning in. You mean so much to me. To order that copy of Believe Angels Don't Lie so you can have it in your own hands, go to jeannestreet.com/believe. And make sure to register for the Empath and Sensitive Soul Masterclass while you're there. Well, you will learn the methods that I have supported hundreds of people just like you with healing and balancing their energy. If you haven't registered yet, you can do so at jeannestreet.com/events. You are loved, lovely. Thank you so much again for joining me. Have a beautiful day. And I know what I know because angels don't lie.